doesn't have a problem with drugs. He just doesn't get them. He's fine that his mates have tattoos, but he thinks they'll regret them. He likes going to pubs, but he hates it when the music's too loud. He tends not to go to rock concerts, cause he can't stand the crowds. But all he's ever wanted to be is a rock star on Rage or MTV. But he knows that it's not fucking likely. He just turned 30. He knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep writing songs the world will never hear, and though they won't be heard, he'll just keep writing. Oh yeah, but you see the problem is he always dreamt of being a star, but he learned piano instead of guitar, which in the 90s didn't get you very far. So while the other kids were learning Stairway, he was the piano to their forte. But he was convinced one day he'd rock their fucking asses and be an icon for the disenfranchised masses, and grow his hair long and rebel against the state. But just for now that'd have to wait, cause he's running late for his morning classes, and he will always be a rock and roll nerd. He'll keep playing gigs that no one knows about, and though it sounds absurd, he'll just keep playing. Oh yeah, but you see the problem is there's not much depth in what he's singing. He's a victim of his upper middle class upbringing, so he can't write about the hood or bling bling. So he sits and imagines his girlfriend is dead, to try and evoke some angst in his middle class head. But the bitch is always fine at 9:30 when they go to bed. And he's not spent a single night in prison. He has no issues with nutrition. He has no drinking problem and no drug addiction, unless you count the drugs they put in chicken. And marijuana always tends to make him cough. He doesn't look good with his t-shirt off, and when he tries to act tough, you can tell he's tricking. Will go out late, popping pills and having fun. He goes home and showers and gets a good 8 hours. He gets thrills from his morning run, and while his mates will go on dates, taking speed and drinking cans of Jim Beam, he stays home and cooks, curls up with the book with the girl he's had since he was 17. Cause he's never really been part of the scene. Give him Guns N' Roses, he'll take Queen. He's more into Beatles than the Stones. He's more of Stevie Wonder than Ramones. And he's never owned a panel van. He never shot a Pantera band. He doesn't know the difference between metal and thrash. He couldn't tell you nothing about Axl and Slash. He likes Ben Folds and the Jackson 5. He knows all the words to Stayin' Alive. And though he wants to be all crunchy and cool, he spent 11 years at a private school. So it don't matter how he tries, he cannot hide behind his rock and roll lies. Cause you've either got it or you don't. Yeah, you'll either rock it or you won't. You've either got it or you don't. Rock it or you won't. You've either got it or you don't. He knows that his music lacks depth, but it just can't be helped. He has nothing interesting to say, so he writes about himself. But he doesn't want to seem self-obsessed, so he writes in third person. In an attempt to seem more rock and roll, but he suspects it's not working. And deep in his heart he knows that he'll never be Silverchair or Eskimo Joe. And even if he was quite pretty with small pants like Kylie, he knows that he will always be a rock and roll nerd. keep writing songs the world don't care about. And though it sounds absurd, he'll just keep writing. Oh yeah, 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 you can criticize him, but he won't care, cause he wants to rock, and he will never be deterred. But he'll always be a fucked up little try-hard wannabe rock and roll nerd. Rock and roll nerd.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome again. Glad to have you. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Oh, golly. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. I am. We're just getting started. We're rocking and rolling slowly but surely. But don't call me Shirley. Let me open up my chat over here. Just a second. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants today. I don't even know really what that saying means. It sounds gross the more you think about it, but you know what? We're just going to roll with it. How's everybody? How's everybody doing? Rocking and rolling? Anyone remember Knit Grit? I remember. I remember Knit Grit. Those were the days, man. We tried for like a year to make that stuff work, and it just never really did. What are you gonna do? How you doing, look, hope everything is fine. Everything is fine. I did just see in chat, this is how I just found out about this, from Mr. 921. I had no idea, and then I Googled it, and it's true. I'm like a little shell-shocked, if I'm being honest. Kevin Conroy, the definitive voice of Batman, he just passed away. It was announced like 30 minutes ago, following a short battle with cancer. No idea. I had no idea. He's 66 years old, still very young nowadays. Like that's very young. So really just heartbreaking. This is the guy, if you've played any Batman game except for Gotham Knights in the last 10 years, it's this guy's voice. Okay, maybe not any, but like the definitive Arkham ones, all of those Arkham cartoons, the Batman animated series from 92 to 95. He played him in Batman Beyond, 2001's Justice League series, Batman the Killing Joke, all of the Arkham series. Did he also voice him in Arkham Origins? I thought that was somebody else because they wanted somebody younger. Maybe it was him. I don't know. He's the definitive Batman, though, to the point now where anybody else playing Batman or Bruce Wayne just sounds weird. You know, it doesn't sound right. So, really too bad. He's a legend. He was a legend. Oh, I didn't even know. Kevin wrote a story called Finding Batman as part of a DC Comics Pride Month anthology in 2022, going over his experiences in life as a gay man. I had no idea he was gay. Huh. Yeah. But very, very sad. I mean, he was an all-star. So that's sorry to start off on a bummer, but I just saw that in chat and I was like, oh, well, rest in peace, buddy. He's a legend, an absolute legend. His legacy will carry on. You know what other legacies will carry on? The Hogwarts one, which is doing a showcase, which we are reacting to today. The show starts in about 52 minutes, and we will be rocking and rolling through that. I don't know what to expect. They say it's going to be a gameplay-oriented showcase, so we're going to check that out and see what we think. You know, hopefully they just give us like 20-30 minutes of what playing the game looks like, because right now I still don't think we know really clearly what it is. Right now we're drinking a Rain energy drinks. I think it was Sophie asked what we're eating today. I have not had breakfast today. Kind of scrambling, like I said. And also I'm going to lunch with Jacob, who edits all of these stream clips and all of that. And So we're gonna go to lunch after we've finished watching this Hogwarts Legacy showcase. So it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be good. What else? What else is going on? Spoiler: Harry Potter will be in it as a forced cameo. Do you think they really? I mean, it takes place hundreds of years beforehand, but do you think they'll have like a prophecy wall and it'll be a picture of a kid with big circle glasses? You think they'll do that? They might. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. But right now, DC is desperately trying to... Warner Brothers is desperately trying to find some means of, like, ginning up support, basically, because everybody's kind of sick and tired of everything else they're doing. The Fantastic Beasts thing kind of fell apart because they fired Johnny and then they brought Mads Mikkelsen in, which, let me be clear, Mads Mikkelsen is a great actor. I think Mads Mikkelsen is a tremendous actor and could have played that role from the start. But no matter what, if you replace an actor in a series in the middle of it, it's just freaking weird. It just is. Okay? It just is. Harry Potter got lucky. Okay, lucky, that sounds bad. That sounds very distasteful. Harry Potter, I don't even know how to say this. Dumbledore passed away after the second movie, right? So they went and they got another actor to take his place. It was early in the franchise, so it didn't really make that huge of a difference. And the latter actor was seen as sort of the definitive, I think, performer for that role. Not to say the first guy was bad, it's just the definitive. Started later, carried the series through, right? But with the Fantastic Beasts thing, like, you're 2 movies into a 3-movie trilogy, and you're like, we'll just replace the villain. It doesn't work that way. I mean, come on. So, same thing exactly with the Witcher series on Netflix. It just feels weird to replace a lead character halfway through your series. It's a bad look. And especially when you're doing it for, like, political reasons or, honestly, reasons that were not, like, somebody died that are out of your control. That, I think everybody's more understanding, of course, as you would hope. Whereas if you're just like, Henry Cavill, he really hates what we're doing with the story, so he's going to leave. But we'll get that guy from Hunger Games in here. It'll be fine. Is it bad that that's all I know him from? Question, has he done anything else? I don't know. I think Mads Mikkelsen really nailed it as Grindelwald, but the story is kind of boring. That, and also it has that guy who likes to punch people. Who's that guy that played the Flash? It's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He was in Perks of Being a Wallflower, and he was good in that. Or they were good in that. I can't keep track of it. I'll be honest. I try to be understanding. I try to be like... I try to be progressive in that way, but honestly, like, it gets to a point where I just can't keep up with it. I try, though. I just don't even know. Canceled, lol, yeah. This was fun, guys. I try. Will Smith. Yeah, Will Smith. Oh, golly. Fun little tidbit. Hold on, let me look this up. I thought you guys might get a kick out of this. I didn't realize this until just the other day. This is so stupid. So, we did on the main channel, we did a video on the Hogwarts Legacy Collector's Edition and how terrible it was. Well, that video now has more views than the official unboxing that we're reacting to. I've become part of the problem of react culture. I'm so sorry. We did it. We made it. It's just funny. 579,000 to 569,000. We did it. We beat Hogwarts Legacy. I'm still excited for the game. It just looks like this is objectively stupid, which is why this video has so many views and so many people agree. Like, it's just dumb. So there we go. Stealing views. Yep, you got me. I did see yesterday, I watched a video. I only got like 2 minutes into it, but it was Asmongold reacting to the members of PKA, the podcast, reacting to the video he made making a $2 steak. And it was like React Inception. It was like that Bo Burnham bit in Inside. It was just like, wait, how many reactions can we have? Like, it's insane. Yeah, while 3-hour critiques get less views. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing that's just tricky. Like, people ask all the time, well, can you do a like 2-hour breakdown of like the Yakuza games? People ask about the Yakuza games all the time. And I'm like, for a game that big, that would take months. Like, even for a game like Cyberpunk, which technically the story is only like 25, 30 hours long, that took months of work to make that 5-hour commentary critique thing. And like that video took like maybe a year, 6 months to a year to get to what these view counts are for this one video. Sure, there are more ads in that video and it has more long-term power, which is why I still make those videos. But when we're talking about just getting like exposure and growth, shorter videos like this, reacting and looking at things that are trending is just, you know, just makes a lot more sense. Asmonception. I don't care what anyone says. I love me some Asmongold. The king of the neckbeards. He is, yeah, he is a weird cookie. But he is funny. I don't, it's just a weird human being. Like, he's not even real. Let's see. Hogwarts Legacy search. I still don't think the event is officially live, at least on YouTube. I'm guessing on Twitch it's gonna be filled with ads, and I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, don't want to deal with that yet. Okay, we'll deal with it later. Yeah, this whole stream is going to be a hey, Kevin Conroy died stream. Yeah, that's the problem with getting news topics out of the way up front, is people don't know. I appreciate people coming in and letting us know, but you know, it is kind of frustrating. It's the stream is supposed to start in about a half hour, Walnut. So we're going to look at a couple of other things you might not have heard of in gaming news until then, while we wait patiently for the event to happen. First thing first is this little tidbit, which I found kind of funny, that an Xbox executive felt the need to clarify this. It's just kind of funny to me. Starfield is not just a Skyrim reskin, says head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, which, Matt, what a tremendous name. What a tremendous game. What? Goodness gracious. He said he's confident Todd Howard won't, quote, sit still on what was built before, even though that's kind of what they've been doing for a decade. Whatever. Who cares? It was part of a podcast thing that they did through GameSpot, whatever. Here's Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, who was recently interviewed by Friends Per Second podcast presented on SkillUp's YouTube channel. Booty answered questions about Halo, Game Pass, what it's like managing the game studios Microsoft owns, and finally he fielded some questions about it. That's his name? Panabianco? What? Dude, that's his name? I had no idea. After noting the reception of Starfield's trailers has been largely positive. I don't know, man. I thought the reaction to the trailers was largely negative. Am I living in an echo chamber? Like, am I wrong? Even people like Maddie were like, the gunplay looks pretty rough, man. Like, the only person I saw that asserted that it looked tremendous and there was nothing wrong with it was Vault Boy, no, not Vault Boy. What is it? Lone Vault Wanderer, I think is his name. And he is like, he calls himself the Bethesda simp. Like, he calls himself that. He used to work for Bethesda. So like, he's the only one that I saw gave it unequivocal positive marks. But I didn't think it was generally positive. I thought there was a lot of negativity surrounding it, just because it looked pretty rough. But he said, quote, do you think it's Skyrim in space? Panabianco asks, if it's not Skyrim in space, what do you think really sets it apart? Where are you seeing that it really evolved that Bethesda Game Studios model? Okay. Onar. Having had the chance over the last year and a half or so to spend more time with Todd and see how he works and see what he brings to game design, I'm confident he's not going to sit on what was built before. It's just not his approach to come in and reskin something, right? I mean, I'll get okay. We're being a little facetious. Like Todd Howard, yeah, he does come in. He adds stuff. Say what you will about Fallout 4. Fallout 4, I think most people got frustrated with because Fallout 4 was just like Fallout 4 was people wanted Skyrim with guns and they didn't get it, and so they got upset. People wanted like RPG in a Fallout universe. They didn't get that. They got like a looter shooter with base building and like weapon customization, and that was pretty good. Like people liked it. If you went into it expecting that, if you went in expecting an RPG, you probably hated it, and that's where I landed. But I can go back now and I can see that there's a lot there that's generally positive. But for something like this, it's you know, people keep asking what sets this game apart, and nobody really knows yet. Nobody's clearly stated what sets this game apart. Especially like we tried Starfield the other day. We have the supercut of the first like 4 hours I played the game up on the live channel here. So you guys can go check that out if you want to see what Starfield is like nowadays. And like honestly, it was pretty impressive. Like, yeah, it's got a ton of problems, and I think it's got a long way to go. But in terms of feature sets, they have some stuff that is pretty robust and impressive. Like, let's be perfectly honest. Starfield, yes, Star Citizen has raised $500 million, and the game still hasn't come out yet. And there's no release date in sight. But what they have working in the alphas right now is pretty impressive. And as far as I can tell from what they've said through Bethesda, there's nothing Starfield does that's even approaching that tech, you know? So I don't know. Not to say it can't be a good game, but when you're talking about like a space simulator, that's a big question. Real quick, everybody, we got 175 people in here. Hit that like button. It actually helps. It does get this out to more people. I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, we only have like 27 likes in here right now. We can boost that to 100 in no time. Let's make it happen. I love you guys. Much, much appreciated. Someone spoiled a bit of God of War Ragnarok for me. Remember, it's possible, Rocky, that it's not necessarily true. I was talking to somebody last night, and they thought they had the story spoiled for them, and they asked me about it, and I was like, that doesn't happen. You know it is? Okay, well then in that case that sucks. But just remember, like sometimes for some people, if you think you've got it spoiled, it's not necessarily true. So yeah, I don't know. They still don't technically have a release date, I don't think, for Starfield, which is kind of amazing. Also, did you guys see this? Razer announced like the highest end PS5 controller that currently exists on the market, or will exist on the market, I guess. Look at this thing. This thing's ridiculous. This is called the Razer Wolverine V2 Pro. And it is pretty ridiculous. Do they have like the little preview trailer thing? I don't think they do. Oh, here it is. So apparently high-speed wireless, who gives a crap? Mecha tactile buttons. Basically, it's just a PS5 controller that has the ability to set stops on the adaptive triggers. My understanding is it has adaptive triggers, but it might not from what I'm seeing. I can't really tell. And then paddle support on the back. For me, the biggest thing is paddle support on the back. Once you get used to using paddles... Where's the picture of the back of it? Yeah. These things. Once you get used to using paddles on the back, you can't go back. It's tremendous. It spoils you. I don't like this layout. This is what scuffs use. They use like the top and bottom buttons. The Elite 2 uses these that kind of splay out. I guess I can hold it up. See these that splay out, so your hands more naturally rest on the buttons, right, like that. Whereas on the Scuffs, you have to reach into the middle of the controller a little bit more to hit those buttons. I don't personally like that as much. I much prefer these pedals on the Elite, but there's not a lot of great options for nicer controllers on the PlayStation side of things. The other thing that's also obvious and kind of a funny design choice, which you should notice immediately, it's an Xbox layout with the offset thumbsticks, which is a weird choice because that's like, it's kind of PlayStation's thing. And I genuinely don't know what the perk of is. Like, what's the perk of doing this? I don't understand why you would offset it if you don't have to, you know? Like, this was a conscious choice. Or maybe it was that they already had like the moldings for the Xbox controller laid out like this, so they just reused it, but they're gonna cycle it. I really don't know. The other thing, apparently it comes with RGB. You can actually set the color of the RGB on the body of the controller, which is something the other Razer controllers do as well. So there you go. There you go. Guess how much it costs? Guess how much it costs? $250. Yeah, $250. For me, like, this is where I'm frustrated. I want the equivalent of the Elite 2, but for PlayStation. I want the wide paddles, the metal construction, solid construction, USB-C, charging dock, all of that stuff. Just give me this, but so that I can use it on a PlayStation. And nobody's really delivered that. PlayStation has their like Edge controller coming next year. Doesn't look anywhere near good enough to justify, in my mind, the cost. So I don't know. But PlayStation needs to figure this out. Like, it's free money. Come out with an extra Elite Premium PlayStation 5 controller. People will buy it. It will sell out. Like, even if it's a $300 console, PlayStation gamers will pay for it. A $300 controller, people will pay for it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's free money. Do it. Boggles my mind. It's like, it's not that hard. Shut up and take my money. That's literally what this is. Okay, close that. So anyway, so that's a whole thing. Also, little tidbit here. Where is this? Yeah, little tidbit here. We mentioned this in a news video thing we did on the live channel maybe a week or two ago when Stadia got canceled and everything. Just a little tidbit and update. Apparently some people have started receiving refunds for their purchases, because what they did is Google announced they were shutting down Stadia, but they were going to refund people for their purchases, which is honestly as good of a thing as they could do. Like, you know, you're shutting down the service, give people their money back. It sucks a lot of people won't be able to like transfer save files and things like that, unless the studio already has cloud saves built in and things like that. But honestly, sending out money is not like, it's not a bad way of doing it. I think it's the best they could have done. So people are starting to receive refunds, and that's good. So that's my story there. That's the story. They started doing what they said they were gonna do. Let's see, anything else? Ooh, yeah. What about the sales numbers, launch numbers for Ragnarok? I mean, I know for a fact, like 65 to 75% of my viewer base has been playing God of War Ragnarok in the last week. So this is a thing. Like, the game is huge. The game is absolutely huge. And now there's some early numbers coming from gamesindustry.biz, And what they said is it's already the largest launch in the franchise's history. I would agree. I mean, that's not really surprising. People, one thing I think is important to distinguish, just because a game is the best launch in the series history does not mean it's the best game necessarily, because the industry is bigger than it ever has been before. Like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, the first God of War could have sold remarkably well at the time, but nowadays there are so many millions more people that are playing games regularly. So it just changes the math. Sophie, exactly, like Valhalla. Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that is, had the highest revenue of any Assassin's Creed game in history. Not necessarily the most profitable, but or the most units sold, but the highest revenue. And I think that game is atrocious. But that game had the highest revenue. And in large part, it's because they were appealing to the mass market, people who didn't normally play video games super dedicatedly were trying it out because they just wanted to be a Viking, and that appealed to them. But that being said, I do think that this is a mark of the God of War Ragnarok being significantly better than I think a lot of people even expected it to be. So let's see, where is it? The first game was released in July of 2005 on PS3 and debuted at number 5, one of just 2 times that a main God of War title didn't debut at number 1. The second game in the series released 2 years later. Isn't it crazy they used to be able to pump these games out in 2 years? Now it's like 4 or 5 years at a time. It's crazy. 2 years to pump out a new one. That's wild. Less than 2 years, actually, because it was July and then May. That's crazy. That's crazy. Same like Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas was made in 18 months. 18 months. Like, if you're ever wondering why that game is so buggy, 18 months. That's why. That's why. It's crazy. Let's see. The franchise moved to PS3 for, I think they meant PS2 back here then. PlayStation 2. Yeah, that would make sense. PlayStation 2. The franchise moved to PS3 for God of War 3 in March of 2010. In Mock of 2010. And also topped the charts once again. God of War Ascension arrived 3 years later, but was held off of number 1 by the Tomb Raider reboot from Crystal Dynamics. Oh, how far they've fallen. Aren't those the same guys that did the Avengers? I'm pretty sure they did. And then God of War 2018 got crazy successful. It ranked number 5 by units and revenue on Sony formats. Okay. The only PS4 games bigger than God of War that year were FIFA 19, which breaks my heart, Red Dead Redemption 2, makes sense, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, also impressive, and Marvel's Spider-Man. Makes sense. Very wide mass market appeal. Now we're seeing the launch of God of War Ragnarok, and based on boxed sales alone, it will become the biggest God of War title launch in the UK. And just to be clear, these are UK numbers. Other countries don't have to report this type of thing, so let's just be clear on that. But yeah, the numbers are apparently just crazy, crazy high. Yeah, it's the first cross-gen title in the series. 55% of PS5 console sales this week are a part of God of War hardware bundles. Oh. I didn't even know they were doing hardware bundles. It does suck, though. Like, I was just upstairs, and we were, like, rearranging some furniture, and the PS4 can do PS5, like, remote play, basically, where it just streams from the PS5 to the PS4, so you don't have to just get rid of your PS4. It can actually do something. So I have my PS4 Pro still from God of War. It's the God of War. I guess I could look up a picture of it. God of War PS4 Pro. This thing. Dude, it's still worth $350. That's crazy. I got this thing. Switch screen. You remember these? I have this thing upstairs. It's shaped like the axe. It has the blade and everything. So I have this thing upstairs. And I still use it. I don't have the box anymore, but they used to do this for major releases with like the custom skinned consoles. And it was freaking awesome. It breaks my heart they don't do this anymore. Like, hopefully they get to it later in the generation, maybe, but man, it was so cool to have a custom PS4 Pro. Like, damn. Because all it really is like a custom controller and then shells, and different shells on the console. Yeah, we got a custom controller, I guess. They did sell that, but it's just, ugh. Yeah, I hope they do this. Allstate is offering a $159 2-year protection plan. Wow, what a deal. What a deal. Yeah, most recent one was the Halo Xbox. Yeah, it's just, I get it. They're struggling to fulfill demand as is, so they can't really justify taking time out and resources to do this kind of thing. But what are you going to do? The one thing I will say that was kind of funny, when I unboxed that collector's edition for God of War Ragnarok with the Mjolnir, on the box that shipped out, it said, it had a sticker that said packaged date. The packaged date for that collector's edition was like December 21st or 23rd of 2021. And it was sealed and taped up. So that hammer back there and the custom box and the artwork for God of War Ragnarok and the disc with the game in it, of course it needed an update. Well, actually it was a code. It was this with the code in it, which I'll be giving away soon, by the way. I'll be giving away a copy of Ragnarok. I'll be doing that. I don't know if we'll do it today, but I will be doing that. So subscribe to get that. But that thing was sitting there for over a year. Not over a year. Almost a year. In some warehouse in the middle of nowhere. I just find that crazy. Like, they had the collector's edition done before last Christmas. Think of all the stuff that's gone on since then in the world. And they just had, like, it was sitting in a warehouse somewhere, packaged and ready to go. But they just pushed it off because it was delayed and delayed and delayed. It's wild. It makes me really wonder, like, all of these delays that they were doing, where, like, was it because they were adding stuff to the game? Was it just for polish? I don't know. Yeah, Streamlabs is kind of freaking out. I don't know why it's doing that. It's like stacking all of the messages. That's it's a little toxic. It's a little toxic. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, this is it, guys. This, just so you know, they added the event. They added the event. Now we are just patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. L Slytherins. Lol. We'll see. We'll see. We're patiently waiting. We're patiently waiting. So, out of all of this, what other cool stuff have they shown off? Hogwarts Legacy ASMR, tour the common rooms. I haven't seen the Ravenclaw one, actually. I don't think I've seen this. I'm a Ravenclaw, if you couldn't guess. Oh. Oh. Except I was one of those guys, like, in early college and high school where I was like, oh, no, I'm totally a Slytherin. Thought it made me look cool. As a Hufflepuff, I'm so happy to get to see the common room. Yeah, it's really cool that they've actually gone through and done it. Well, that's epic. Man, I really hope this game is good, but it's coming from Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers just made Gotham Knights. And I finished Gotham Knights yesterday, officially. I got through the whole thing. And it sucks ass. It's so bad. It's just so bad. Oh, God. It's so bad. Yeah, man. I won't spoil anything. But, like, I played Gotham Knights like with, you know, a pretty skeptical view. And from the outset, I was like, I hope they don't do X, Y, and Z, because like they set it up and I was like, I really hope they don't do this. And then they do like the exact thing I predicted 15 minutes into the game. They do the exact thing at the end of the game that I predicted. And it's just so lame. It's, man. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. But that's the thing. That's coming from the same publisher that's doing this. And that worries me. Okay, my OCD is triggered. Look at all the rugs. Look at all that. That's a mess. What are you doing? Big rectangular rugs overlapping at different angles. A big circular one. None of them are color coordinated. What are we doing? Come on, guys. You guys know magic. Surely there's a tidy up spell that you could do. Or like a not stupid home decorating spell. That's got to be a thing, right? And the tripping hazard. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody said it, finally. Unacceptable. Terrible. No talent. Slytherin. Let's see this one. How important is it that with Warner Brothers in charge, with Avalanche producing it, genuinely not sure of the relevant importance of publisher and studio? Dumb. It is a tremendous question. So, like, don't feel weird about asking it. That's a tremendous question because there's a lot of lack of clarity, I think, and obfuscation with it, and it's kind of intentional. Basically, there's exceptions with this being a Harry Potter game, to be perfectly clear. Because there's other considerations with Harry Potter. Largely J.K. Rowling, she still has a huge influence on the franchise. I don't think she's really involved at all with this game's production, but pretty much anything that has to do with lore or anything that's established in this world, she has her fingers on. So it's not as simple as just, you know, some random like team just throwing stuff together however they want. This is beautiful. I love this. But with that being said, basically what the publisher's job is to do is usually they come in, they find the studio that they want to work with. The studio pitches to them a game, and then the publisher will give them the money up front and bankroll the production of the project in exchange for publishing rights, which means that they can take the finished product, send it off to every distributor, seller, PlayStation, Xbox, to Best Buy, Amazon, everywhere. They send it all over there. They do all of the marketing to make sure it sells well. And then it's different for everybody. But usually the publisher has in their contract requirements that they recoup all of their investment plus X percentage of royalties after that. In the case of Harry Potter, again, it's a little different because J.K. Rowling gets a cut of everything that happens in this franchise. And also, the franchise is owned by Warner Brothers as a parent company. So they own the rights to it. So they're probably taking the lion's share. And it's not like Avalanche is just getting fat checks, you know, ported in. So it's a little bit different. It's just, it's very unique. And so it's just complicated. Like, this is by no means a regular game because very few games get released on this scale in a franchise as well known and beloved as Harry Potter. So we're kind of in uncharted territory. I mean, what's the last time? What's another franchise that's gotten like a big budget narrative game? I don't know. Fallen Order? Yeah, that could be a good example. Fallen Order, Star Wars Fallen Order.
Welcome to Hogwarts Legacy.
That could be a good example. I could see that. Shadow Mordor, you could say, yeah, Shadow Mordor. And props to Shadow Mordor, that's an example, I think, of a game that's done, like, is actually a good example. Like, that's a good one. Marvel's Avengers, that I guess that could be tricky because they made it very clear that was not based off of the movies or that franchise. It was based off of their own version of the comic books.
Before you can study magic
But
and begin to solve these mysteries, you must create the witch or wizard you want to be. When you arrive at Hogwarts,
real talk, am I the only one that freaking sucks at designing themselves in in-game character creators? I'm terrible. I sit down and I start I pull up a picture of myself, like a selfie, and then I start trying to design it, and I end up looking like this dude. I'm like, not even close. I suck at it. And is that like a sign of psychosis or something? I don't know. I'm better at making other people. I can make other people, but making myself is weird, you know? I just don't make myself. Yeah, so that works. My buddy Michael, I love Michael so much. He said one of the funniest things. I've mentioned it before, but we were playing, I think it was, what was it? Maybe Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It was when we were in our college house, but it was basically you select the gender of the character you're going to play as. And so he was selecting the character and he picked a girl. And I was like, oh, why did you pick the female character? Because I just normally, up to that point, especially, I just normally played as a dude because I'm a dude. And he's like, if I'm going to be staring at somebody's ass for 50 hours, I'd rather stare at a girl's ass. I was like, oh. Makes sense. I was like, can't argue with that. I mean, I was like, dude, that just broke my brain. That makes so much sense. But so now every time I play a game and it's like male or female, I pause. I'm like, God damn it, Michael. Every single time. Oh, but yeah, now in this game you play as a kid. Exactly. That's the question. Oh, hold on. Where is that? Hold on. What's his name? Oh, EDP. Hold on. There was a meme I saw, and it's just EDP 445 holding up a piece of paper and like slapping it. It's like, what's this? What's this? And it was labeled the boys chat. I don't see it on YouTube. Okay, it's not a thing. I probably shouldn't. I don't want EDP in my in my search results if I can help it. But you know what? Imagine the meme. It was really funny. Yeah, EDP. Okay, I'll let this play and I'll look for it because I sent it to the boys group because it was pretty funny. Hold on.
Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw.
I'm a
or
Hufflepuff.
Slytherin. After
I
you settle
can't
into your
digest
dormitory, you will meet up
lactose.
with your housemates in the common room. You will then need to attend classes, and you do have some catching up to do as you are starting Hogwarts late.
Other question. I told somebody I was really thinking of moving overseas and like just doing a European thing for a while. Because we can. Why not? Before Lockie and everybody goes into school. Why not? By the way, 12 more likes. Let's get to 100. We can do it. Much love, everybody. And somebody told me, they're like, yeah, I moved, or my uncle moved to Europe, and they said that their uncle developed an accent. I think they moved to like Sweden or somewhere, or Finland, you know, one of those countries. Over there, where they have the kind of funny, not funny, but the kind of simple boppity voice. And he now talks like that, even though he was raised in like Ohio. And he's like, yeah, no, it's just a thing that happens. Oh my God, I found it. Okay. If we get, real quick, guys. Hold on. I thought this photo didn't exist anymore. I thought I got rid of this photo. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so excited. Hold on. You guys remember in the video that just went up? You guys remember that I said Ubisoft sent me a full jumpsuit, Assassin's Creed themed, for like as a thanks for covering the game, even though I hated it. And I said it was the most unflattering thing ever. and I've never worn it on camera because it's so unflattering. You guys remember I mentioned that? Well, I thought that we got rid of the jumpsuit, which I think we did. We gave the hoodie away to like a sibling or something. And the sweatpants, they kind of peeled, so they don't have the logo stuff on it anymore. They just look like black sweatpants. But I said all that, and I just found a photo of the jumpsuit. Of me wearing the jumpsuit. Like 2 years ago, I got it in the mail and I put it on, and it's so bad. It's so bad. It's going to play? I don't know if it plays. Thank you, Kanal. I don't know if you heard. Yeah, Kevin Conroy. Yeah, we talked about that at the top. It's very sad. Rest in peace, big man. He was an all-star. Superstar. Legend. Oh my God. I can't believe I found this photo. Okay, I might have to save that and like make it a deal. Like if we get, okay, real quick. If we get to 150 likes in the next 5 minutes before the stream, before this starts, I'll show you the photo that's on my phone of me wearing the god-awful pantsuit that they sent. 150 likes. I'll show you the picture, and maybe I'll hold it over like YouTube chat's head, or YouTube's head, 5,000 likes on a video or something. You're in a safe space. Yeah, 150 likes, and I'll show you, because it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. Well, how can I share it like on the big screen? I know it's going to become a meme. I don't even care. I don't even care. Bring it on. Ooh, I can make it a watch face. It's so bad. Okay, here, I'll do that. Send. Okay, I'm going to email it to myself. Oh, golly. I cannot believe I found it. All just because I wanted to find a meme of EDP. That's so funny. Okay. Anyway, while you guys are
As a fifth year,
grinding it out,
You are the new student.
we're close.
you'll begin your studies attending charms, defense against the dark arts, herbology, and
Dude,
potions
if you make
classes,
cardboard
to name a
cutouts
few.
of it, I swear to God.
Class, please welcome the newest rose in our garden.
Shall we begin? Welcome to year 5 of charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work, but I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge.
The best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
You may begin.
Not bad for a beginner.
My fear with this, I just have the, I get the gut feeling that this is going to be a game that launches with all sorts of weird, like, clunky transitions and cutscenes and load things. It just strikes me that there's going to be weird tech issues, and it'll probably be awesome like a year after launch, but I have the feeling that it's going to start a little rough. I'm glad they've been delaying it to try and fix it up, but especially after Gotham Knights, I'm a little worried.
Potions is one of the most challenging and hazardous subjects taught at this school.
Here you'll meet your professors and learn to cast spells, grow magical plants, brew potions, and more. In between classes, you'll be able to explore the castle famous for its secrets, enchantments, and mysteries.
That alone, I'm so freaking pumped for. Like, just the idea that you can wander around the castle. How cool is that? That's like a dream come true for Harry Potter fans. Like, come on. Come on. It's freaking badass. It's like those guys that are doing... those guys that are doing the recreation of the Titanic. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but they have a YouTube channel. They're the ones that did that viral video of like the real-time sinking of the Titanic based on actual historical reports and research and stuff. But they're actively recreating the Titanic in like 1-to-1 scale perfectly in Unreal Engine. So eventually you can just walk around the Titanic ship and explore it, and it's like super historically accurate. Hold on, let me see. It's like Titanic Love and Glory or something. Titanic Glory and Honor. Titanic Glory and Honor. This is it. So they had this video that went viral. It's 2 hours 41 seconds, or 2 hours 41 minutes and 18 seconds long, but it's a real-time video of the Titanic hitting and sinking. 11:39, Titanic's crew spot the iceberg. Just look how long. 5. Okay, where's the actual iceberg? Right here. Little iceberg in the distance. It really like humbles you and makes you realize like, okay, it's not as crazy as like the movies make it out. Like it strikes, and then literally 2.5 hours later, it goes down. 11:40. But then as the video goes by, they did like a real-time demonstration of what it looked like to sink. Slowly dipping in the front. And then like it really picks up speed. But it like goes so slowly, but also so fast. You know? Yeah, hauntingly quiet. Yeah. And then as it starts to pull up out of the water, and then it snaps. Oh. And then the front pulls, the bow pulls the stern down. Oh. Like it's insane. There's a VR video as well. Oh dude, I might have to try that. Yeah. Haunting. Yeah, I mean it's humbling. It makes you like really take pause, and then like after how slow this whole thing happened, how quickly everything disappears, like almost in an instant out of nowhere. But not to bum you out before we get into a Harry Potter thing, and just like that, Titanic's gone. Help doesn't arrive for another hour and 40 minutes. And that water is freezing. Yeah. Well, and everybody's like, this would have been filled with 1,500 people. The water filled with like 1,500 people screaming. And then as the hour went by and the time ticked by, the screams slowly got softer and softer and softer as people froze to death. Like, it's horrifying. It's horrible. But Titanic Honor and Glory, they're doing a full recreation of the ship, and you can see they've got, I think they allow you to try it at like on the Patreon, but you as of right now like can explore the ship.
Yeah, this is very recent.
In Unreal Engine. I don't think it's done, but like they pulled out blueprints and they've been recreating it using blueprints. How cool is that? It'd be amazing. Look, I think me and you need to go head to head in a Titanic quiz. I'd have to do some like research. I'm not up to date on it. I go through like waves where like for a week and a half, it's all I do. I just watch nothing but documentaries on it, and that's all I talk about. And then I get obsessed with something else. And then, you know, time goes by, you know. Yeah, well, you know what? Imperium, 5 minutes went by. We didn't hit 150 likes. So I guess I don't have to show you my jumpsuit. I'll save it for the next Assassin's Creed video I do. And I'll be like, you know, 5,000 likes on the video, and I'll tweet it out or something. Yeah, and you can do whatever you want with it. Because it's so bad. Okay, up the mood. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, a little bit of a bummer. I'm going to turn the volume down on that just because I don't want this copyright struck in the middle of the stream. That would suck. Oh. But yeah, no, the ability for video games to like reteach people history is tremendous. And it's really important that I think we double down on that, because it's one of the unique things that video games can offer, to like actually explore the pyramids or explore the Titanic. And, you know, that's something that I think we need to pursue. So like I subscribe, I send the Titanic guys money. I haven't tried the demo in a long time. Maybe we'll do that for a video. Like, I explored the Titanic in a work in progress game or something like that. We'll come up with some title for it. But that could be really fun. Maybe I'll get those guys on and I'll interview them and talk about the importance of video games and what they're doing and the preservation of history. I've always wondered, like, why hasn't there been a big studio that's done a Titanic game? Like Naughty Dog. Imagine a Naughty Dog Titanic game, historical Titanic game. It'd be amazing. Okay, I'll shut up. Here we go. The box.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Hogwarts Legacy gameplay stream. I'm Chandler Wood, community manager here at Avalanche Software, and we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to show you today. But before we get into showing you the game and gameplay, I have a few wonderful guests that I need to introduce you to. First up, we have our community guest host. He brings you the latest and greatest in Hogwarts.
Yeah, this is the same guy that did the unboxing. Let me be clear. He seems like a sweet guy. He's doing great work. It's not his fault the collector's edition is so stupid. Like, let's be real. It's not his fault.
Yes, I'm James Whitehead of Expecto Go, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. And I am one half of Expecto Go, the better half. My wife, Sue, represents that other half. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Avalanche Software, for inviting me. I cannot wait to go over this game. Like, I just got to say that.
Oh yeah, Ben.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. And we've got two people from the studio, just two of the many people bringing this thing together. The magic of Hogwarts Legacy. Game director Alan Tu.
Hello, everyone.
And senior environment artist and Hogwarts expert Boston Madsen. So thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules right now to sit down with us to help us show everybody gameplay. So what we're going to be showing you today, first, the character creator, because it's your legacy, and you have to create yourself when you get into to get into Hogwarts and bring your whole authentic self to Hogwarts. So we're going to show you that character creator. Then we're going to dive into a tour of Hogwarts, and it's just a small tour of Hogwarts, right? Because Hogwarts is huge. Hogwarts is really big. So we're going to be showing you a little bit, but it's still a lot. So, and finally, ending up with combat.
I'm sorry, it's a little weird to me that this is so candid. Like, I was expecting it to be a little more polished and scripted. Oh, they have it on the desk. Look, they have it on the desk. It looks just as stupid as ever.
Create this character. So, Andrew, who is going to be doing all of our gameplay capture today, is going to be handing you the controller.
Oh my gosh. All right, I won't break anything. All right, so what are we looking at right here on this screen?
These are your presets. So a lot like other games, there's some initial settings that you can put up choose for your character that just kind of get them into like the ballpark of what you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to change.
Oh man!
And then once you're in that ballpark, all of the other
I need
tabs
generic white guy number 4.
be exactly who you want to be. It's
my go-to.
Our goal with this is to make sure that for anyone that fantasized about bringing themselves to the school for the very first time, that they feel like they have the options in order to represent who they are and essentially bring themselves to Hogwarts or whatever character they want to bring to Hogwarts.
Oh my God, and options galore. Do you mind if I try to put myself in here right quick?
It's all about you today.
Okay. All right. So, okay, yeah, that's me. We're here. That's me right there. All right, so that's step one.
We're pretty close, but let's look at everything here. You know, play around with some of these options, like really.
All right, so what are we looking at with this option over here with the tab? I see face stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of different faces that you saw in the previous screen, all those faces are choices that you have here. So
honestly, this looks pretty good.
Now you're just kind of getting into the details in your face shape, in your skin color. And then because we knew a lot of people going right in are going to want it right away, even though it's an option later in the game, you can collect different types of glasses, put them on later. We give you some options right up front if you want to have glasses for your character.
Oh man, oh my gosh, look at the structure of the faces with this. Wow, you guys.
Wow.
Crazy. I like that. I don't think my face is that skinny, but I think we'll go with that. I think we'll go that route. And down here, is this?
Those are your glasses.
Okay, just that there's going to be people upset that there aren't more options for plus size faces.
Oh man, and this is just some.
I'm calling it now.
Options, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so through the course of the game, there's a lot of different options that you'll keep unlocking.
Okay.
So as part of kind of like gear for the character, there's lots of different classes. There's even masks. There's all kinds of things over the course of the game.
I like how it's all Victorian era, though.
Yeah,
like,
right up front.
Such a good call. Such a good call. Oh my gosh. All right, so now, we can go fleek on this one with the hair.
I spend a lot of time here just like dreaming about my different characters. And
Oh my gosh, the pony. The thing,
honestly, the hair doesn't look bad either.
Whenever I see any
the hair looks pretty good
of Hogwarts Legacy's character creator is just the texture, and like you even adding the bounce with the hair moving around. That kind of looks like Hermione a little bit. I'm not even gonna just like Fred. I'm not Fred. And we can just go. Can I go like Tonks purple or green a little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh. Yo, this is so cool. Oh, I like that. That is cute. Oh, okay, so little behind the scenes. I used to have this type of hair like way back, but
was it purple?
I wanted silver tips, so that was the closest I got to any color. But oh my gosh, this is so cool. So you literally can bring yourself. Like it's a myriad of textures and different hairstyles here. All right, so now we're getting over here to play around with some of the...
These are more subtle options. We've got freckles, moles, different things like when it comes to your complexion, like darker eyes, maybe like some shading on the cheeks.
Oh man, you guys literally thought of everything with this.
Yeah, I do have a bit of fun with that. And then the scars are one of those options where, Harry had his own unique scar, but you can come in with different scar options.
Yeah. Thank you, John Marco.
Oh,
boy.
Wow. Look at that. I didn't even see that.
Oh, those are my favorite. The eyebrow scars. Love those.
You look kind of
it's a
like,
classic.
Yeah, you look kind of just like tough. But anyway, so now we're over here. Oh man, you guys, this is so sick.
Again, getting more subtle here, really like dialing in that face to really get your...
I don't know how revealing I want to be with my facial features now.
They really did just like sit down and then film themselves like messing around. Like this is the most casual showcase I've ever seen. Like it's crazy. I kind of like it though. I'm digging it. It's just much less like corporate shilling scripted crap, it's much more real. I appreciate it.
A theory.
But here's where you bring you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more kind of a masculine or a feminine voice, and then even within that, changing your pitch, the pitch slider.
It's a subtle slider, but you can hear it.
Concerned about.
That was quite something.
And so you can kind of make out the differences. But yeah, you choose which kind of voice that you want. You'll be selecting your difficulty here. For today, we'll just go normal because Andrew's going to be taking us through some of the experiences with combat later.
And we can talk a little more about difficulty, yeah, with combat and how that plays in. But I think the important thing here is like if for people who aren't gamers, especially, story mode is a way to get into this without being worried about like, oh, do I need to be good at games? Like, no, just enjoy this game.
And I will put expecto and then go. We're good. We're good. Awesome.
And then whether you want to be witch or wizard.
Amazing.
What'd you think, character creator? We're good?
I'm good. Let's explore Hogwarts and let's get into some combat.
All right. Through the magic of using a dev kit, we're going to be loading up a save a little later in. So that we can show you more about Hogwarts and give you that taste of combat. All right, Andrew's got some gameplay pulled up for us here. We are starting out, James. There you are. You're wearing the House Fanatic robes from the account linking.
Is this the first time we've actually seen the UI?
Look at the Hufflepuff common room. I'm assuming. I mean, dorm room.
The dorm room.
Yeah. This is awesome. But Alan, what are we seeing right here with the UI? Because this is our first look.
Yeah, first look. That's what I thought.
So right now, we know there's been a lot of questions about the HUD because this is the first time we're showing it. So kind of going over it from right to left, on the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond. So those are, everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is, you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts, or that we just want on the controller at all times. And Revelo is one of those. That's left on the D-pad. On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there. You know, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone.
So even if they're not in the quick
left
menu,
side,
you can
that
still
has
get to them
one
quick.
button next to it. That's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly, is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our mini-map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room that updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of minimaps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the minimap and turn on or off different elements.
I like that.
Really immerse yourself.
And we'll go more into the spells as we get into combat, but that's kind of that's what you're seeing there. And this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a
there a
good look
brothel?
over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the
I
dormitories.
just realized I covered up. Okay, hold on. God damn it.
Very nice bedside tables.
They are nice bedside tables.
Yeah.
The honey-colored wood was mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out.
I like the UI in chess.
We really tried making these
clean.
low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger set sort of feel.
And the first thing I know is the music. The score is amazing with this.
Gorgeous.
And I'm calling out here, this is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room. Go back to those Common Room videos we released, you'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is entirely intentional.
We just want to welcome you to your common room in every single house, just a little bit differently. So you can customize that experience right away.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Look at that.
So I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over it.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings for this common room. The round doors, the hanging vines, even the dancing badgers on the fireplace.
It's got a real earthy vibe.
Yeah.
It's very, very earthy.
Which is like elements for each of the houses.
Earthy,
right?
what a
Hufflepuff
word.
is earth, Ravenclaw's air, Gryffindor is fire, and Slytherin is water. We really leaned into that for each common room.
Wow.
So it feels earthy. We've got a little earthen passageway. That's what we were Hopefully, it should feel very familiar.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But I know you don't want to leave, but we're going to be leaving.
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though.
Whoa!
Looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing how Hogwarts is now, it's so cool.
It's tactile.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Use Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little something there. Yeah. So these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some XP for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge up in the corner.
Uh-huh.
So I want to talk about that a little bit. So we had to ask ourselves, what?
Continue, I'm sorry.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there.
Yeah.
But in our game, we had to answer the question, you know, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up to the other students?
Okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before we push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide. And you can see your house kind of crest overlaid over it.
Okay,
right? And you can see that on your level as well. So that the field guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors have granted it to you as a late fifth year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest challenges, exploration challenges.
That was clean.
And you can see field guide pages are on there as well.
Yeah, 1%. We unlocked that one field guide page.
That entire category is one of the ways that the book itself kind of fills out into the school and spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're actually going to interact with to help you grow as a wizard and practice your spells. And so that thing that we just saw is not just a field guide challenge and a way to earn XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game discovering all of them. And there are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone. So.
Little glimpse of the grand staircase here. We're not gonna...
Circular staircase.
You can also tell just how passionate they are. Like he's smiling so much just describing it. You don't see that a lot, amazingly enough.
Travel points there.
You see the passion.
Hourglasses. We had to. How much fun was it designing those and putting all those in there?
They're gorgeous, but that they're there just like in the books.
Yes.
Right next to the Great Hall.
It's a nod to lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the game.
We didn't turn it into like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative. And there are lots of choices where we want to nod to things that aren't necessarily gameplay systems, but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right there, Andrew was teasing. That's the Great Hall over through those doors. Again, we're not going there. He's just kind of like, no.
Cool.
Here's another collectible page. You know, just again showing you like just these things around Hogwarts that you can do and pick up. And
that's a shot straight from the trailer too. Just that part right there. I recognize that.
We might be giving you a little fan service here with callbacks to those.
I wonder if you can turn off the highlight, the white outline.
These are the summertime windows. These windows will change with the seasons.
Yeah, the detail they put into this is kind of, I get surprised by it all the time.
That's a sentient magic castle, so.
Oh man, and we're going out. Look at that.
This is where the students would normally kind of congregate.
Thank God there's no
kind of chill
load
out,
screen.
play, meet each other outside the Great Hall before and after meals.
And I love the way that when the castle interconnects to, that it interconnects outside, inside. There are pathways on both sides of things, so you really get a sense of scope to how big this castle is.
And when you see things, like you'll notice a bridge over there, that's a place you can go to and cross. Like everything that you see is a place that you can visit.
Wow.
We put a lot of effort in making it feel really alive not just with student population, but even just the greenery and stuff. It's Scotland.
Yeah.
And this castle's been here for hundreds of years, so just kind of the moss and all the trees that have overgrown it, and
oh my gosh,
that landscape.
Thank you,
that
Thomas.
location might look a little familiar to you.
I thought I recognized it. I believe this is from the Spring ASMR, and yes, so that puzzle right there, that view, Andrew is taking us right back to
I am going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on. No. We can't spoil everything. We can't give you everything, right?
Hogwarts contains a lot of secrets.
Oh my God.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall.
It's kind of a
we point
weird
out the
transition.
greenhouse outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a grand central station.
I love that. I love
each
that.
direction, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there.
Oh, look at that.
Transfiguration Courtyard, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of the hub of a lot of the castle.
Even the color, visually, you can just tell, okay, green,
green go that way.
Oh my God.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it on a daily basis. It's a castle.
Great point.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm
from the reveal trailer. There's that dragon. Oh my God.
This is another location where the students will gather, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a quest giver here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
Oh, the what keys?
The Daedalian keys.
Oh,
Surely you've
shit.
seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Moll, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago.
Oh,
Professor
God.
Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Well.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
For me, so what it sounds like to me is heavy compression.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So those kind of side quests are really, it's a cool way to interact.
So it's basically when they take the audio, they flatten it to try and make it more consistent
like that, as well as teach you
from
some
recording to
secrets of
recording.
Hogwarts, I think.
But it doesn't sound natural.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the students are a way to kind of flesh out the school opportunities around it, what
I hope
we can
that's
do, and then those interactions,
not
different
permanent.
interactions with different characters can also offer different choice points for the player, and then some of those things can affect things game wide. Some of these affect characters' lives, the ending of the game.
And sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a nice guy or just being a jerk.
Yes, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
That's so weird though. Like
Defense Against the Dark Arts.
the gameplay audio and the music balancing sounds great. How do they screw that up so bad?
In the castle, just visually, you come in here and just the richness of
It
this
is
area.
very iconic, very unique to anywhere else in the castle.
Somebody else that we can talk to, notably a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year or an 11-year-old.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak. The girl whom everyone
Some actual like
for no
post-processing. Okay. Why does everyone hate you?
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoil sports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls.
I mean, to be fair, it's a room made of marble, so
And if you lose, they
yeah,
spray
that
you with a
VA
foul
might have been
smell
an outlier. I agree, Imperium. Might have been a weird choice.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her, you can be a jerk to her, you can be like...
Yeah, that was a lot better than the garden one. The garden one felt weird, like immediately.
And your opportunities to be mean there aren't over.
The facial animations are pretty solid, in my opinion.
That's a good example.
Gobstones, too. I know people are going to ask, Gobstones playable? They mentioned it, right?
Yeah. Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game. I know we've had to rip the Band-Aid off on a few things. Honestly, it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the overall
Wizard's Chest.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Yeah. They're featured within the world.
Right? I'm glad they mentioned they're a part of the wizarding world.
Yeah. Every single time there was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
And I know here too, we're like,
I was like, we're in this Mystic Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that staircase to the left where we were just at. Andrew was walking by. I also recognize the dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
Being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work, because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Is it a schedule-based system? Is it so tell us how classes work?
Yeah, so ultimately we decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day and that kind of thing. Like, can I miss class at this time of day?
There is a day-night cycle.
Yeah, there is a day-night cycle, but everything is very narrative-based, and so there's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative. Each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities. You get to know the professors. Each one of them has these bespoke kind of events and moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions, essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure and also get to know the professors better.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just engage with the world. And, maybe down there who's sipping some tea with the
Victorian high,
high society.
High society.
And it's no wonder you like this area because we built it for like the purebloods and the Slytherins.
Oh, come on.
Well, like, speaking of lived in, like, the sound effects again, the chatter of the communication that's happening and the footsteps, like,
it's kind of cool.
Just makes it feel more alive.
Little events like that, the brooms going by
I just saw
overhead.
a broom go by. Love that.
The cloth physics look great, too.
Data Tower was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality, and
It's a good touch, and it's important to remember.
Personality.
Like, they have to make everywhere you are in the castle feel different.
Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts is its own character no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Yeah.
a sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's going to kind of
And
grow
full
and
of,
develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic, Mr. Magic himself.
I feature a poltergeist too.
You know, we talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side.
Oh, yeah?
That's
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
got his Bowtruckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another Revelio
sorry.
page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides there.
Hides behind it. That's right.
The third book. But sometimes a hallway has personality by how it looks, or we just passed a music hallway where the portraits have kind of taken it over, and so the sound makes it really unique.
All right, I gotta call this out here. I know there's been
Is
some
Jesus in the game?
past that our trailers and our gameplay and what we've shown so far has not had enough owls. Okay, so here we are at the owlry. We're looking directly at the owlry to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
It's a lot of owls at the owlry.
I
all
love the
owls.
fog rolling down that.
Great callback. Great call.
But no, I also love that as I one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see are places that I can go to, that I can visit. I just love that sensation knowing that is real.
That lovely Scottish countryside.
We're kind of closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again, it was but a fraction of this enormous castle. But we're closing it out here in the Clock Tower, so another recognizable location.
Yeah.
But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
Who's in a younger year, but we kind of like that
Lucan.
that he's running things.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before
It sounds like the
dummy lands.
protagonist's voice is
If you need to
overprocessed.
stop practicing before you finish all of them.
With
let
like
me
the
know.
pitch
It's a
modification.
really good opportunity to now jump into combat, because really in the game this is going to be the first time where you yourself get to learn about combat and combos in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up to the possibilities.
Yeah. So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There's certain spells what the wizards kind of like use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one now. And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts.
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain additional spell diamonds, up to 4 additional ones, so that you can slot up to 16 spells, pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very rapidly.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And so you learn over the course of these events, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things, like cooldowns through your talents, different things that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things. And so if you hold down R2 and you tap the D-pad, it will switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them, and that's how you access all those.
Oh man, it looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together,
So you
pull those combos
right
together.
Here. Yeah. Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Well done,
Andrew.
I like the
That's just
combos.
against
That's
the
cool.
dummy, but I mean,
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
I think now we can take on something a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of crossed wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause the.
So they confirm this is
action
PS5.
and talk about what you're seeing on the screen because there is about to be a lot going on.
Okay.
All right, here you can select if you want to fight with somebody else, some of your
of the other
classmates.
students.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're not. We want that action to feel a little more frantic towards you to really get you that sense of combat.
So
It looks like
apparently you've,
consoles,
got
it's
quite the
locked at
reputation
30.
because they've got you up against three people.
Yeah. Off the jump.
So I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in. You're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters. And you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one, all this control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on things.
We've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatars.
I was going to laugh so hard if it crashed while they were doing this and they kept it in.
Head, each of the different shields to kind of give us a breakdown of what's
Give us
going
a breakdown
on.
of different things that you're saying. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health. And so, as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack, and if you tap the triangle button by default, then that you'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with Protego.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits
Thank
things
God there's
up
a parry.
and kind of breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character, and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into gameplay here. Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these other students off here, win this duel.
Look how fast it is. It's like a
Honestly,
dance.
this is way better than I expected. Like, way better.
We really felt like in the movies, there's almost like it's kind of like there's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great distance.
That's such a good call.
And there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea that's pretty unique to the Wizarding world.
Understandable.
Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Oof.
And that is more or less going to wrap it up for us for now, for what we wanted to show you. Character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. So leaving the castle, going out here.
More owls confirmed.
Owl mail. There's the owlry again. Yes, all of the owls. But yeah, just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts to the world beyond Hogwarts. And
oh man,
this is not somewhere where we're going today, but we will definitely be taking you in the future.
Oh my god.
A little glimpse at the scale of the castle back there. All right, so we're gonna wrap things up here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things.
Okay.
So while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay side,
give us
I know
more.
there's a few things that you want to pick Alan and Boston's brains about.
I would love that, because there's a lot. Let me grab it. All right, so some of these questions we did pull from the community secretly, but I did pull from the community. So,
and also from, I mean, going through this, I feel like you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about. I'm sure.
Elaborate on, because we went through character customization, Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So this would be like for the both of you guys. Will we be able to go back and change our character creation if we don't like it?
So not everything, but there are certain things with hairstyle, hair color, so kind of like core shapes, you know, like with the body and face, not after the fact. But there are lots of things. There's kind of like a barber shop in Hogsmeade that you can go to, and
of course,
inside
there's a wizard barber.
Right?
You could change your hair color for.
Can you hold a wand like a pistol?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
The game features a lot of appearance customization in it, so there's a ton of options there. But that's in terms of like your character and stuff that you have the character creator. It's like a smaller set of what you saw there.
Okay. Oh my gosh, awesome. Next question: what kind of leisurely activity can we do? Can we study with our free time? I mean, what will we be doing just hanging out in Hogwarts?
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are driven by different characters' personalities. You know, some of them want help getting up to hijinks, or some of them want to just explore secrets in the castle because there are new secrets in our castle to explore. And so, so I think there's a bunch of things to do. And when it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. There are kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of like blockers for main mission. Kind of like you can't go on this mission until you have the spell. And then the spell is open, you know, the assignment and how you complete it with your professor. And so there are opportunities to study, so to speak, like with that. But they do all take the form of our mission structure.
As you mentioned earlier. Wow. Let's get into some combat right quick. Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal?
Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff. And then it's through the talent system. When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow and change. And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example. And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
I won't be touching the dark art stuff, but I know many of you guys will be.
Maybe on your second playthrough?
Second playthrough, yes. Okay. Dark Hufflepuff coming, #soon. I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long and the excitement you guys have, what's one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for the fans to experience? Boston.
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again. I hope that whether you're already a fan and love this game, or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope that they just point at each other in the best way possible. And I'm just excited for fans to get to finally go to Hogwarts and feel like they can own it and live there. I've lived there for 5 years. It's a great place to live. Official 5th year.
It's really funny because I want to give a different answer and I will, but I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar, because my favorite thing when running around, playing the game, and getting to know Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do, and thank God, right? Because you want the person architecting it to really know that. Yeah. But when I rewatch the films or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game.
Right.
And so it's really looking over the edge and seeing location. I'm like, oh my God, I'm right there. And in the movie saying, I know what's around that corner in the film. Like if you go down this way, there's actually a thing over here and there's this person over here and this thing happened. And it just adds all this richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story.
Yeah.
So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just go.
I can go there.
That vantage point, yeah.
There's just something exhilarating about it that feels very different in that kind of open air and on that thing. It just it's kind of incredible.
And wrapping it up, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and sharing those stories, because it is your story, and you are going to be writing. This is your unique experience within this, and even within the things that are the same, it's going to be your unique experience. It's different from mine. It's different from. We're all approaching it from different places, and I think that's going to be really cool, the way that everybody brings those things together. All right, and that's everything that we have to show you today. I know maybe it wasn't everything you wanted to see, but it was a whole lot of stuff.
No, just that being said, what other game has come out anywhere near recently where they've shown off this much stuff before launch? Like this transparently. It almost never happens. Like this is as good a sign as you could expect. Elden Ring, they did like a couple gameplay things, but they didn't do developer walkthroughs where they're answering community questions. They didn't do anything like that. So, I don't know. The big, sorry, hold on. The big red flag for me right now is the vocal compression. It sounds really rough. Like, let's just go back to this and see if we were being unreasonable. Where is it? It was in the garden. This all looked great. Right here. The moment I heard it, I was like, oh God. Okay, listen. Were we being unreasonable?
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So that, for one, it's too loud. It doesn't sound natural. It sounds like she's talking right into your ear, and I think that that's an issue. Secondly, I think it's over-compressed. Most voices, they go loud, and then they go really soft, right? So, like, I'll bounce between down low, and then I'll go really loud when I get excited, but then it bounces around. And your voice commonly does that up and down. When the audio signal's over-compressed, instead of going up and down really heavily, it compresses, so it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, within a very narrow range. And it sounds weird to us. The only times when it sounds right is in like radio, when voices are heavily compressed, right? That's when it sounds fine. So like I could even do it with my microphone here. I have a compressor. So if I compress it down like this, and let's just say I compress it like crazy, and let's go like this, and then if I compress it even lower than that, it's going to sound really compressed no matter where I'm going, and it's going to be a little weird here. Oh, like this. So now it's like really compressed and it sounds really freaking weird. It doesn't sound right? It's horrible. But when it's back to normal, it sounds fine because there's variability, right? So it sounds like you're in a box, exactly. And that's exactly what's going on here.
I'm Nelly, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daily...
Where it's over-compressed and it doesn't fit in with the world. The good thing, well, it could be a good thing, is that usually nowadays when games are massive, the audio files are raw and then they're processed individually, which is why over here, this character, her dialogue sounded different.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate that.
I still think the main character's voice is overcompressed, but this sounds different and it has a different set of filters on it. So it can be changed and altered dynamically. So that's a good thing. The problem would be if they saved the files and already processed them, because you can't unprocess a vocal recording like that. It's like changing a Word document and then hitting Control S, or like saving it as a PDF versus keeping it in the doc file, the docx file. Because in the docx, you can still change it. You can change formatting. You can bold it. You can do other things. But once you save it as a PDF, it's locked in. You can't change it, right? So that's my concern here. Now, it could be, considering how janky the rest of the stream was, it could be that it was just how they recorded it. That's a thing that happened. Bear in mind, a lot of games that release nowadays have a lot of like audio options. So for example, in Plague Tale Requiem, they have a ton of audio options. The showcase is in 4K. Okay, I'll pull that up. They have a ton of audio options where you can go in and let's see, gameplay showcase full 4K. I want to do that. Yeah.
But yo, let's explore.
They had a ton of audio options where you could go in and tweak it. So, you know, it's specialized for headphones. You could over compress it if you wanted to have less dynamic range. So loud and soft sounds are about the same. Or you could expand it so it's full dynamic range. All of that stuff was in there. Hopefully these same audio options are in there. And the thing is, what's weird is that the exploration and the sound effects out in the world all sound tremendous. So I don't know how on earth they dropped the ball this badly with dialogue. Like, dialogue's very important.
Yeah. So these are...
But the music design, the spell effects, all of that sounds great. But once you start talking to characters, it sounds really weird.
Like you'll notice a bridge over there. That's a place you can go to.
You know?
Like everything is...
So I don't know what to make of it. I hope they answer that. I hope... Maybe I'll tweet at them. I'm not verified or anything. I didn't pay $8. Sorry, guys. But maybe I'll try tweeting them and we'll see if we can get an answer on whether or not the audio has more options or if that audio compression is a mainstay. Because that was rough, man. But other than that, like, do I have anything negative to say? I really don't think so. Like, it looks really good. The ability to explore Hogwarts is freaking amazing. Pay the damn $8. I don't think you're allowed to anymore. I think they turned it off. You can't actually buy it now because they had too many imitation accounts. They thought surely if you pay $8, you won't waste that money to imitate Elon Musk or something. People started doing it anyways, and it's a little funny. It's a little funny, but
everyone hates you.
I mean, this looks good. From what they said also, this is a PS5 dev kit. Okay, so this is allegedly running on a PS5. This is what it would look like. And from what I can tell, it's 30 frames. Now, they're only streaming in 30 frames, so it's possible the game is running at 60, but it's captured in 30. It's possible, right? I know maybe I'm like, maybe it's an L take, as somebody on Twitter said, but I do not think a prerequisite for a good game is 60 frames. I understand people like 60 frames. I love 60 frames. I get motion sick if a game doesn't have a high enough frame rate, okay? I'm a frame rate snob, but will a game automatically be bad because it runs at 30? Absolutely not. Some of the greatest games in history were released at 30, right? Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us, all launched at 30. So it doesn't mean that it's going to suck if it runs at 30. And I would rather a stable 30 that looks good like this than a blurry, fuzzy, glitchy 60. That's my personal preference. Now, if they add a performance mode, that would be sick. We'll see. I would say like Gotham Knights, there was obviously no excuse for that game not having a performance mode. They tried to say it was an online thing, which is ridiculous. Come to find out, once the game launched, it was just because the game was unstable and they couldn't get it to run even at 30 frames reliably. So it makes sense. But you know, with this, I'm not too worried. Like some people are saying, you're not playing this for the frame rate, you're playing it for the world and the lore and the ambiance and all of that. And I would agree. Like, this is the kind of game where I think frame rate is less important than some others. The big thing is certain combat types really benefit from higher frame rates. This, I don't think, like, it would be nice, but I don't think it's necessary. And for me, my preference is less graphical issues, less pop-in, less things like that. I would happily trade more stable frame rates for that.
Kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket, just kind of for the overall
Wizard's Chess.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Yeah, on PC, we'll see.
I'm glad they mentioned they're a part of the wizarding world.
Yeah. Every single time
Part of
there was something that
students'
we regretted because we couldn't include it, we also tried to figure out.
Also, fun little tidbit. It looks like they're filming this on the soundstage. So presumably they're filming this on the same soundstage where they filmed all of the motion capture for the game, which is kind of fun. Kind of fun. But I mean, all told, it looks really good. And I was kind of bracing to see more of it and be like, oh God, oh no, oh God. It actually is looking better and better the more I see of it, which is high praise. Like the combat especially, I think we were all worried it was just going to be button mash crap. But you have like, I think you said a full slot of 16 spells that you can quickly access, all told. And there's combos and parries and different shield types for different spells. I was not expecting something like that varied. So I'm very pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting something this robust. You know, people say I'm overly negative and critical. Not really. Like, when I see something that impresses me, I'll tell you it impresses me. This is one of those things. This dork is wearing Hogwarts robes out and about like a loser. Gave a buddy a taper fade in 1890. So somebody said that that this doesn't feel like it's in the 1800s. And let me say, for one, okay. The main benefit of Harry Potter as a franchise is that it is so timeless, right? It doesn't. You watch the first few Harry Potter movies, it doesn't feel like you're watching something set in like whenever Harry Potter was set, like the 50s, I think, 50s, 60s. It doesn't feel like that. Sure, you don't see people running around with like cell phones and stuff, or 90s. Is it the 90s? I thought it was 50s. Yeah, 50s. Okay. I'm not crazy. No, 90s law. Jesus Christ, what is it? You're all making me doubt. Hold on. Alexa, when is Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix set?
The first Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was released on November 16th.
Alexa, when is Harry Potter set?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question I heard.
Alexa, when is Harry Potter supposed to have taken place?
From Wikipedia.org, the entire Harry Potter series is set from 1991 to 1998 aside from the opening chapter of the first book, which takes place on November 1st, 1981, and the epilogue of the seventh book, which takes place on September 1st, 2017.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so 50s, 60s now. I think it's because I see the cars, like the flying car, and I see that, I'm like, oh, that's a 50s car. But that kind of proves the point, is that, like, it's so timeless. Like, could it be 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? Who cares? They're in a castle and they're doing magic. Who gives a crap? You know? Like, who cares? But that's one of the main strengths about Harry Potter is you can go back and you can watch those movies at any time, and it doesn't really matter. Like you can still get something out of it. And so for this, yeah, it's set in the 1800s, but does it feel, or is it 100 or 200 years before? I think it's 200 years. So I think it's like 1790, isn't it? I think they said 200 years. I don't remember if they said 100 or 200 years before. But this is, well before cars and stuff. 1890? Okay, it's 1890. And so, like, will it feel markedly different in the game? I don't think so. Like, we could point to stuff like, oh, they don't talk with, like, old English, but or older English. But, like, who cares? I don't care. Taper fade. Lol cringe. I don't. If you hate this game because they gave you the ability to use a tapered fade in your haircut, you were never gonna like this game. Like, this game was not made for you. Okay, so like, if that's gonna be the deal breaker, bye. Like, it was never gonna be your thing. So yeah, it doesn't feel out of place. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. And like I said, if it's like, those little bugs you find in games, if you are going to dismiss a game because of a tiny bug or pop in or something, it was never meant for you. One question I do think we should try to find out is if we can turn off the white outline on enemies. I understand it's useful because it tells you what object you're aiming at and which object will be affected by the spell in question. That is absolutely something that's useful, but I think for sake of immersion, there is something to be said for like going in, maybe decreasing the opacity of these things to like 50% so you can kind of see through them a little bit. Like the mini map, you can kind of see through the mini map, and then going and turning off the mini map, maybe turning off the quest objectives and turning off the white outline. I think that would just help with immersion. And he alluded to that, saying that there's a lot of like UI customization you can do. So we'll see. We'll see. I will say little touches like this with the UI and the menus is a great touch. So like, look at this. You select the challenges. Look what happens. One fluid motion of opening the book, and then the menus. And just there. So gear. So there will be gear. Maybe it's customizing your wand, customizing potions you have. And maybe even your clothes have something to do with armor. I don't know. Inventory. Pretty normal. You'd expect that. Talents. This, he said, had to do with like specializing in certain spells. To make like cooldowns faster, things like that. So that's cool. Collections. This I would assume is, your average collectibles. So that's kind of cool. Owl posts. Yeah, I don't know what owl post would mean. It could be messages you've received, but challenges also outlines most of that. Because I was going to say owl post, maybe it's like, I don't know. What would an owl post be for? I don't know. Huh. Maybe missions? I would think that would be in... Well, no, I guess because challenges, combat, these are like separate things. Well, you have a quest. You have a quest tab. So Owl Post is different enough from quests that they separated it. It's like Facebook for Hogwarts students. You might not actually be wrong, Denny. Like, that might actually be what it is. I don't know what that would be, though. Owl Post. Because you're right. Like, the owls are used for communication. So it makes sense that it could be a means of keeping track of maybe relationships with students. It could be messages from your friends. Yeah, that could be it. I don't know. So that is interesting. That's a question mark. I don't really know. Challenges, we saw this. Room of requirement, field guide pages, exploration, quests, combat, all that good stuff. I'm down for this. The fact that they have dedicated challenges around exploration excites me. Like, there's stuff outside that's beneficial enough for that. I like that. Map makes sense. A map to look around. Quests makes sense. Self-explanatory. Outpost, I don't know what that is. But I feel like today they're giving a much clearer outline of what your regular gameplay session is going to be like. There's still some questions, like they said going to classes is based narratively. So presumably like through the main story, there will be moments when it's like, go to, you know, your potions class. And just whenever you get around to it, you get around to it. I don't know how that would work with like, oh, it said go to potions class and I dinked around for 2 in-game days exploring Hogsmeade. Like, is that going to have an effect or a negative effect on the mission or narratively? I don't know. It feels like it should. You know, like that there should be something there. I don't know. But man, I was not expecting to see this and be this like positive about it. I was kind of bracing to be a little disappointed. I don't know. And thank God there's no load screens. That was the other thing I was worried about. Because I've heard stories of Unreal Engine and how sometimes it's just easier to just throw a load screen in for big transitions. But like, look up here in the tower, you can see whatever it's called rotating. Look up there. You see that? See that? And they say everything you see you can go to and explore. Flue flames, fast travel points, I would presume. Makes sense. Yeah, this is a great touch with students flying broomsticks around. You see these like ruins off in the distance? No, that's Hogsmeade. They're not ruins. In the compressed like 720p stream, it looked like they were ruins, but no, this is totally Hogsmeade. At least it looks like it with the tall buildings, tall roofs. Huh. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they specifically mentioned that the minimap could be, or the minimap could be changed. Because what did he say exactly? Let's go to that.
For us here, we are starting out, James.
Because he specifically addressed it.
Robes from the account linking. Dorm room.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Yeah. So right now we know there's been a lot of questions about the HUD because this is the first time we're showing it. So kind of going over it from right to left, on the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond. Mm-hmm. So those are, everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is, you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts, or that we just want on the controller at all times. Mm-hmm. And Revelo is one of those. That's left on the D-pad. On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there. You know, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then on the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly, is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our minimap with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently.
And this is what he says.
That updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond, out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of minimaps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the minimap and turn on or off different elements.
Turn on or off different elements. It makes me wonder if he's saying turn on a compass. Turn off the minimap, turn on a compass, or turn on a compass and the minimap. You know, I don't know, but If they built into the game the ability to turn off the minimap, that to me suggests that they're confident enough in the quest design that they can tell you, oh, I'll meet you in Hogsmeade at the barber. And they trust that you can find your way there without having a minimap leading you there. Which I think probably when we play this, we'll do like a hardcore playthrough where we turn off the unnecessary UI elements and we just try to get immersed as possible in it. But this looks badass. I mean, and the customization is
early
there.
on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here.
So I don't know, man, it looks good. It looks good. We'll see if we can get a review code for it. I don't know if after that collector's edition video they'll want to work with me, but I can't blame them. I did roast them pretty hard. I mean, this thing looks so stupid. It's sitting on screen every time they cut to this, and it just slowly rotates. But it's not supposed to. The magnet just sits there. So, like, this is like the air in the room moving it around. It just looks so stupid, but whatever. I will say there's so much about this. Like, just as I was saying, when they're describing it, you can see they just have like huge smiles on their faces. And they're so proud of it. And they're passionate about it. And it's not that kind of PR smile where it's like, we're so glad to show you the new iPhone 14 Pro Max Ultra Max 10. With this device, it's the most advanced one we've ever made in the last 6 months. Yeah, it's not that fake kind of thing. It's an actual, I'm excited to show you this thing that is a dream come true for me, and I think is going to be a dream come true for you. And that you can't fake. And the audience can see through it when it is faked, but this isn't fake. Like, they are actual hardcore fans of Harry Potter, and they're making a game to be the ultimate game they want. Have been able to listen well, but did I hear it's locked at 30? No, Caleb, they streamed this video. This video is in 30 frames, and they said that this is a PS5 dev kit build that they're playing on. So is it possible that this is running at 60 frames on the console, but it's captured at 30 and the video is in 30? Yeah, that's possible. In which case, it runs at a higher frame rate than they're showing here. It's also possible that they have the option for performance or resolution mode, and then they're choosing resolution mode for this stream because they know they're going to have the video going at 30 frames. We don't know. We don't know. I hope there's scalability options just so people chill out. And they give the option for maybe it's locked at 30 on old gen consoles, but on PS5 you can choose resolution, frame rate, or just running at 60. I don't know. I would assume coming off of Gotham Knights, they have to be aware that it would be a good idea to put the option in there. Like, if they have one priority right now, I think just to get out ahead of the storm of people potentially being upset, just put that in there. But again, I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The people this game is appealing to are not going to give a crap about 60 frames. Some people, yes, they will care. But the actual Harry Potter fans that are hardcore are still going to buy it, whether it runs at 30 or 60. You know, let's be completely honest. Like, my wife, Nikki, if I told her, yeah, no, Nikki, the game looks amazing, but it runs at 30 frames a second, she's going like, I don't give a crap. Okay. Like, she will not care. And that is probably 90% of the types of people that this game is going to sell, because it's going to sell gangbusters. And one of the biggest appeals is going to be to the more casual gamers who don't normally get into games, except rarely, but are fans of Harry Potter, and they'll see a big ass Harry Potter game coming out and they're going to jump on it, whether it runs at 60 or not. So I see it as a non-starter. I don't think it's an issue at all. But I understand that some people love them some 60 frames. I just don't see why that should, knock the game out of your consideration. Oh, Rocky posted a tweet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's it gonna be? Uh-oh. Hold on. Full screen share. Okay, it's nothing scary. Hogwarts Castle holds many secrets. Are you ready to uncover them? Get all the tips and tricks a budding wizard, witch, or wizard could need in Hogwarts Legacy, the official game guide coming from Scholastic, March 7th, 2023. Oh. Oh. It is a little weird that it's coming out allegedly like well after the game. Normally these things launch like the day of the game's release, so that's a little odd. But whatever. What are with these pictures? Are these unrelated? I thought these were replies. What did these have to... No, more tweets. Okay, I was like, what does this have to do with Harry Potter? I was so confused. Let's see. Is this guy seriously asking for a 120 FPS setting? Get the hell out of here. What's wrong with you? Are you dumb? Like, come on. Like, are you stupid? I'm sorry. Maybe that's mean of me. But are you kidding me? Are you joking? Like, again, more importantly, will the game have 4K 60 with ray trancing? Will it have ray trancing? Tell me now. No ray trancing, we riot. We riot together. Stand in solidarity. Oh my God. Will there be a 120 FPS setting? I hope that with all this delay, the minimum is 4K 60 with ray trancing. He doubled down on it. Ray trancing. Give us trancing or give us death. And with improvements in combat, facial expression, and characters. Unbelievable. This is why I want to delete Twitter. This right here. This is exactly why. Because this guy has just as big a voice as all of you guys who have a couple of brain cells to rub together. And, oh, man. Just imagine unironically demanding ray trancing and 120 FPS. Then do it. This is why Alex, though, is now if I delete Twitter, people are like, oh, so Luke hates Elon. I'm like, no, I just hate Twitter. I was going to delete Twitter like a week before all of this was announced, and I hate going on Twitter, so maybe I'll just bite the bullet and do it. Any other info? I don't think so. Man, it looks good, though. I'll be real. He wants 120 and ray tracing on console. That dude is cooked. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know how on earth you get to that point. I mean, this is why, like, we got to be a little cautious. The dude's probably 12 years old. Let's be completely honest. He's probably like 12 years old and is just echoing what he heard from, like, I don't even know what YouTuber would say something stupid like that, but there's probably a couple out there. But yeah, I don't want to be too mean, but that's just objectively stupid. Gonna be 13? Okay, maybe he's 13. Wait, do you like Elon? No, like, I don't give a crap about Elon. Like, I don't give a crap about Twitter. It's like if people ask me, oh, well, what do you think of the Twitter thing? I don't care. Like, if Elon drives it into the dirt and Twitter has to shut down in a week and a half, awesome. The world will be a better place because Twitter is the most disgusting hive of scum and villainy. But at the same time, like, if they also go out and fix it and make it amazing, great. Old Twitter will be gone and it will be better. You know, like, cool. I do not care, regardless of whether it's successful in reworking it or it falls apart and it goes insolvent. Either way, I'm happy because Twitter, as it is right now, freaking sucks. So there's that. As for Elon, like, why do I need to, like, cater and cozy up to the richest man on the planet Earth? Like, he doesn't need my support or my like extra credit. Like he has to win me over, you know? Like, no, that's Reddit. Okay, maybe you have a point. You know? Like I if I like a Tesla, I'll buy a Tesla, not because Elon has anything to do with it, but because I like the Tesla. Like, it's not that complicated. I'll buy the product if I like the product. I'm not saying on Twitter because Elon bought Twitter. I'm not buying a Tesla because Elon owns Tesla. Like, I'll do it because I like the product or I hate the product. What's this, Rocky? Patch notes for Gotham Knights. Fix for cosmetic or cosmic bat cycle colorway not being unlocked properly. Okay. Rewards fixed. For collectibles, tracking fixed. For battering collectibles, community messages fixed. Crash fixes. Okay. Flying cars in co-op. Lol. GPU optimization, several UI. Game no longer crashes when joining a friend on Steam. That's good. Maybe I can finally play it with a friend. Look at November 11th. Look at 11 November when. I don't have a... There's no... It's November 10th. It's the most up to date. There's no November 11th. I'm confused. That November 7th patch did nothing for the stuttering. The game still runs like ass. Like I said, I finished it yesterday, and it still is rough. It's still really rough. Can this PlayStation exclusive game run on a 4090 with ray tracing? That's the other thing. The guy demanding ray trancing and 120 FPS. It's like at the minimum, it should be 4K 60 with ray trancing. I'm like, dude, you realize like native 4K with ray tracing is not really viable, even with a $1,500 graphics card. It's not even like viable. That's why DLSS 3.0 is a thing now. Because the goal was to make 4K ray tracing natively supported. So, oh, this thing, Rocky, mobile game. I just saw a story earlier that the App Store, Apple Gaming, that thing, Apple Gaming is apparently the most profitable and highest revenue generating gaming platform on the planet. Way above Game Pass, way above anything else. Like, they take in something insane like $100 million a month or like every 2 weeks or something. It was insane. Or I think they have 100 million signups or something. It's ridiculous. Apple Arcade, that's what it is. Yeah, Apple Arcade. Was that in the doc? Is that where I got that from? Apple Arcade. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. But yeah, it's insane. The actual money they take in from that is just ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. 4090 can pull off native 4K ray tracing without DLSS and run Cyberpunk 2077 above 60. I think it was Linus that tested it. He did 8K gaming with it too. It's nutty. When the 4090, I think I was looking at it before they had the latest driver fix. Because the driver has a ton to do with the 4090's performance, apparently. I was supposed to have my 4090 like last week, but I just can't. Like, well, I contacted them, and basically what it sounds like, the 4090 is having a problem where it melts the cables that are used to power it, and NVIDIA won't address it, and they haven't talked about it. But like something like 15% of the 4090s melt components of the hardware. So the team I'm working with, they were like, yeah, out of good faith, we just don't feel comfortable sending you something that might melt and potentially start a fire until we have word from NVIDIA on exactly what's going on. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. I don't want my house to catch on fire either. So go for it. Take your time. So they're figuring that out. But it's insane. It's ridiculous. He did also have the Supreme water-cooled version, though, because you know that thing ain't running cool otherwise. Oh, for real. Like, this room is going to turn into a sauna once that thing shows up. So far, the cables I've been using have been fine. It's also part of it. People aren't pushing the cable in far enough. Oh, Jesus. That's an oopsie. 3080 until then. If you're not playing with a 4K monitor, you really don't need a 4090. I'm just being real. Like, 4080 maybe, but if you're running at 1440p, you don't need a 4090. Apple Arcade, yeah, Apple Arcade to earn $8.2 billion annually by 2025, says an analyst from JP Morgan. Like, this is the thing with Apple. Like, they don't even really seem to try, and they just win. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't have Apple Arcade. I don't, like, they tried to get me to sign up for it. They sent me, like, a free 3-month trial code thing. I don't even really get the appeal. It's like, okay, I can play Angry Birds for free now. Like, I don't want to play Angry Birds, period. You know, like, but people use it. People pay for it all the time. It's insane. I don't have an Apple device. Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out. No, honestly, I have my S22 Ultra here. I have my iPhone 14 Pro Max here. They're both, you know, tremendous devices. Like, they both are great for different reasons. Like, it's just different. No need to flex. It's because Apple only wanted to give me like $300 for this thing. It's worth like $1,100. So when Nikki is ready to upgrade her phone next, or maybe I'll get a work phone line and I'll just use this as a work phone. I don't know. We'll do that. Just use both of them. The game is like Journey. Yeah, a memoir. Even the 4K, even at 4K, the 4090 doesn't get hot because it's not really having to work that hard. We'll get there eventually. Oh, the 4090 is just insane. I'm excited to try it. I'm excited to try it. What else is there to talk? Those are kind of meh. Oh, a headphone jack? I don't think this has one. No, doesn't have one. USB-C. And then the stylus. In case you want to write on it, which is kind of fun. Let's see. I used to have an Apple device, but Android has better overall. I've a longer battery life for one. I'll be real. The battery life on these recent Apple devices is insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, this thing, I finished the day with like 45% on the phone, and then the watch, it uses about 16% per day. So, like, I charge this thing, and I wear it overnight. I charge this thing, like, once a week, basically. Heaps of people have assumed thermals would be mental, but it's not. It's spring here in Australia, and the hottest the 4090 has gotten is 60C, and that was on Cyberpunk 4K full ray tracing. I mean, that's good to hear, because that, I think all of us heard the power requirements, and we were, like, kind of worried that that would be all they could, like, worry about, because I hear like 450 power draw, and I'm like, okay, so like I think my space heater has 1,000, so like that's a little insane. But then again, like, everything I use is just like a little space heater. The PC generates a ton of heat. This thing, the headphone amp, the tube amp thing I use for the headphones, that thing also is a little space heater. It's like uncomfortably warm to the touch. And it just bakes. So this whole room is just, it's a toasty boy. It's a toasty boy. My 5950X CPU pumps out more heat at this stage than 4090. Oh, for real. I use a 5950X as well on this main gaming PC, and it's a little silly. Links at Annapurna. Not actively. I could try though. could try. I'm going to try for Hogwarts Legacy. I would love to get a review code for that, but I don't know. Warner Brothers never responded to me with Gotham Knights, but I had also made a few videos where I wasn't that positive towards it beforehand, so I think they just forgot to respond. So, what's your gaming monitors, Luke? Actually, Alex, the link right above your comment, the link tree, I have in that a link to my kit, as it's called. And in that, I have all of my monitors, all the gear described, even with links to where you can get it specifically. So if you want to check out specific details, that'll do a better job of telling you what they are than I could. But brief rundown, I use a 1440p 240 hertz Samsung monitor currently, but once I get the 4090 in, I'm basically going to swap them, and then I'm going to use a 4K BenQ 144 hertz monitor for all of my stuff. What's the process for getting review codes of new games coming out? Basically, like 2-3 weeks before the game launches, you reach out to, hopefully you have a contact already, but you reach out to them through email usually and ask, pretty please, can I get a review code? I'd like to cover this on my channel. And, you know, like you try to wiggle it that way. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. Building a relationship with them is crucial, though. Like I've now established a relationship with a community, or not a community, a talent coordinator at PlayStation. We're on first name basis. Like we've gone back and forth a fair amount about the bugs I found in God of War, Ragnarok. So once you have like a personal relationship like that with a company, you can reliably get review codes, because you can just be like, okay, well, boom, I've got this. I can contact her. I can talk. We can get the links figured out, and then we're good. I'd be wary of 4K 144 hertz monitors. Well, the one I got is a BenQ, I forget the exact name of it, 3208, what something or other. And they sent it for free, and it's been freaking tremendous. It even supports HDR, which if Windows had better support of HDR, I would use it with HDR, but they sure don't. So it's tremendous. BenQ, I've never had an issue. They've sent me 2 32-inch monitors, and they've all been great. From Gigabyte, MSI, ViewSonic, try BenQ. I've never had an issue. This BenQ, that BenQ down there. No, sorry, it's over here. That's a Samsung. This big 32-inch monster. This is a 4K 60 hertz monitor. 32 inches BenQ. It's mainly built for using with like a console. This is supposed to be like in your game den. This is what you use with your PS5 or something. And in that capacity, it works great because it's 4K 60 with HDR. But I found that when I used it mixed and matched with a like 144 hertz monitor or a 240 hertz monitor, Windows gets really messy. It doesn't handle it really well. Like, because using 240 hertz monitor and then the 60, they don't get along. Weird stuff starts happening. The games glitch out, frame timings freak out, screen tearing pops up. It's weird. It's really weird. I looked it up, and on like Reddit, people are like, yeah, just, it sucks. Like, that's all they could out. They're like, yeah, we don't, way above our pay grade. There's no fix for it. It just sucks. What am I looking forward to right now? Right now, Evil West. It's funny you say that, because I actually just filmed a TikTok that Jacob's cutting together on this. But Evil West looks to be, I think, the thing that most immediately appeals to me. If you haven't seen it, it's coming out, I think the 22nd, they said, but it's like Red Dead meets Vermintide, and it looks just stupid gory and stupid and fun. Like, it just looks like a feel good mess around junk food kind of game. Is it multiplayer? I think it's co-op. I do believe it's co-op. Vampire Slayer, yeah. 18th century. Gauntlet. Where did they say? I think it is co-op. Can anyone confirm that? I don't see it listed here. First level threat to mankind. Leechers, Highborns. The Gauntlet, the Revolver, the Rifle, the Scorcher. Oh, baby. Oh. Co-op, yes, confirmed. Okay, Rocky confirmed it. If it's wrong, we can blame him. I could have sworn it's co-op, so makes sense. Oh, maybe I could check the Steam. I didn't even realize there's a Steam link. Online co-op, yep. They don't make them like this anymore, and a game like this really makes me wish they did. Oh, baby. And I did get in contact with them. They did say they will be sending a review code for it, so we'll be trying it. God of War with guns? Kind of, actually, yeah. Focus Entertainment, I'm telling you, like, Focus Entertainment, they've been on one. Only one? I don't know. I would assume since it's co-op, if they only send one, I can try to grease some wheels and be like, hey, pretty please, can I have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5? Like, just me and my mods want to try it, but we'll see. You know, beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, if you haven't heard of this one, ooh, baby. It looks good. It looks good. And it's just a unique game. You don't see this type of thing anymore. Like they were saying, you know, it's very rare that you see something like this, but it's, oh, I'm excited. So yeah, you asked me what I'm excited about? This is the thing I'm most immediately excited for. And it comes out in 11 days. So Gears of War, Red Dead. That's probably a better way of describing it. Yeah. So I'm pumped for that. We'll see. Good taste like usual, Luke W. I was ready for you to be like, good taste, Luke. That's unusual. It's weird. Those big set pieces. I love that. So yeah, we'll play that. We'll see what that's like, but I'm expecting to freaking love it because it looks really, really good. Really good. I'm hoping if they send the review code like a week early, that would mean maybe Monday. If I don't get it by the end of today, I would hope we get it Monday. Have like a full week with it. That'd be great. But that's what I'm excited for. Atomic Heart also looks great. Also from Focus Entertainment. There's a couple big games by the end of the year. Callisto Protocol also looks good, but we'll just kind of play them piece by piece. I have high hopes for Forspoken. I just haven't seen anything that gets me like actually pumped. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's pretty in like screenshots, but in terms of like any gameplay they've shown, it just looks like typical Square Enix particle effect porn. Like that's fine, but Fuzzy, just watch your review site video, but it's so weird watching one of your videos and then going to the live stream because they feel like the same thing. Oh, that's fun. I mean, that's kind of the goal. Maybe that shouldn't be the goal. Should the stream be worse? Should I make the stream worse? Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe that's the key. What if I just like make it slightly worse? So like I scale the camera so it's like slightly off center and like kind of blurry. Welcome to the stream, guys. We made this feel worse so that you should still watch my videos. I'm glad to have you. I took pointers from XQC. The lower quality your stream is, the better you'll do, right? Still better than 85% of streamers. Yeah. Well, they make it easy sometimes, you know. Do Nick Merck style, just from your nose up. Yeah, when he does the, he gets really into the game. Hold on. It would be like this. I'm really into the game. No cap. Real talk. No cap. I'm a millionaire. Keep sending me money. I think that works. Was that good? Was that good? Well, they're poor. Not enough. There we go. Accurate. I swear XQC has never heard of a light, just some light from his shitty webcam. That's the thing though, is it's like those streamers know what they're doing. Full wide? Oh, is it too wide? The widest. You see my AC unit? The lizard enclosure, display cases, the Far Cry 6 flamethrower they sent me. What the hell am I supposed to do with it? Like, it's so huge. I don't know what to do with it. We have, is there anything else fun? Oh, I have like that little attaché. That's what I took to work when I was in commercial real estate. And I was a big boy. The sword. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything super fun else in the frame, but yeah, that's the thing. What's the red handbag? Oh yeah, no, that's my attaché. It's like a really nice one. It's like a $500-600 bag, like little leather bag. But I don't use it ever anymore, so I keep like business documents in it. Use this angle, pretty please. Oh, I mean, if you guys like the angle, the wider angle, I'm fine with that. Behind the chair, candles, art books, and game guides. So, The Last of Us Part 2, special guide for Cyberpunk, Breath of the Wild, God of War 2018, Horizon, Witcher 3, Assassin's Creed Origins. That stuff. That wood box is a custom, or is a collector's version of Orlog, which is the kind of Gwent equivalent in Valhalla. I think it's probably one of the best things about Valhalla. The Witcher books, the new 52 Batman series, server Eero router recommended by oh god, oh, I feel so bad. I'm blanking. Oh god, we play games with him. It's gonna come to me randomly, but a viewer recommended the Eero router one night, and we started using it, and it works great. No, not Caleb. It's an actual viewer. Battery bank. This thing is a fat boy, but this thing I use with my Steam Deck. Comes in a little carrying case. This I use for traveling because it powers the laptop like 5 times over, and the Steam Deck a ton. It is a huge ass battery bank, weighs like 5 pounds, and it even has an outlet in it. So you can charge your phones, charge anything else, and it has a little power indicator. Come on. So you can see what the charge is. Right now it's at 88% after sitting on the shelf for like a month and a half. Huge. I need that in my life. It was just like the Steam Deck's battery is ass. Like it lasts 45 minutes most of the time. So this thing at least makes it last like a few hours, 3-4 hours on a flight. Hey Luke, what are the measurements for your desk pad? I decided to get a big one after your critique of my set. I just want to make sure I'm getting the right size. This one is classified as like triple XL, I believe. But this thing, if I peel it up, you see how wide it is. It's like, I believe the measurements are 48 inches by 36. So 48 by 36, I believe is what it is. So 4 feet wide, 3 feet deep. It might be only 2. It might be 4824 actually. 4824. I believe that's what it is. Use centimeters. Oh, Rocky. Alexa, how many centimeters are in 48 inches?
48 inches is about 121.9 centimeters.
121.9. Boom. Don't wake up my Alexa. Sorry. It's like that South Park episode where they all started doing it. 2.5 to inches. Oh, wasted your degree. I have a degree in finance, not in inches. What kind of degree would that even be? It's ridiculous. Unbelievable. Oh yeah, and then behind me I have some of my favorite collector's editions. These are like, this is the cubicle for random collector's editions that I am less about. Like, you notice if I like them, they end up higher up. So this is like the Watch Dogs Legion mask. Eventually I'm gonna have to get rid of some of these. I don't know what to do with them. Like, they keep sending me them and I'm gonna run out of space. Already I don't have a cubicle for the Elden Ring one. That's a problem. Or the God of War hammer. Oh, my headset. The God of War Mjolnir. I don't have a cubicle for that. But I have my Pyramid of Giza castle, Hogwarts Legacy castle behind me. Hogwarts castle. Order 1886 right here. It's just a badass statue. The Last of Us Part 2. This is Horizon Forbidden West. This is Cyberpunk 2077, my play button. Yeah. And then right up there, this guy's hidden. I had him in a couple of videos, then people got really, really pissed off. I'm going to show you what he is. Anybody guess what that white thing is right up there? Because it ticked off enough people that I was like, I don't want to have to deal with this in the like comment section. So I'm just going to get rid of it, or hide it away a little bit, but it's kind of stupid, but it's funny. It's a flying spaghetti monster! Yay! And he's kind of goofy. He's got the big eyes. Isn't that fun? Flying spaghetti monster. So now he sits in the back of the studio and watches over us all, keeping us safe, protecting us when no one else will. That ass angle, boy, he do be packing. Shut up. Is that a hat? What a hat? Oh no, the flying spaghetti. You could probably use the flying spaghetti monster as a hat. I don't know why you would, but From Software Monsters be like, yeah. I hope you're comfortable with your mods complimenting your ass. You know what? This is where we're at. I don't get enough compliments on my butt from my wife, so I guess, I'll enjoy it while it lasts. She says she's always like, where is it? I can't find it. It's like, I know. I haven't had an ass in years. Listen, I do what I want. I try not to objectify Luke too much. No, it's fine. That's fine. Bring it on. Did you know that they are actually a church? Church of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Yeah. No, it's funny. If people don't know what that is, basically back in 2006, I think it was, there was a big scandal with a school district in a county called Dover, and where was it? It was like Dover, maybe Kentucky. I don't know, but it was in the States. But basically, there was a scandal because the school district wanted to change the curriculum so that they wouldn't teach evolution as the definitive answer to the diversity of life, and they wanted to change it and offer up instead creationism as the answer, as another answer that they had to teach with equal credit. And so there were a bunch of lawsuits about this because people were like, you're like limiting science because of your religious theory. That's not what science is about. Believe whatever you want, but science is about being objective, and you can't do that. And eventually the trial ended with the judge siding with the secular school district approach, which was that you can't do that type of thing. Is it in Bendover? Yeah, exactly. But basically they said you can't teach creationism. It's a religious thing. So it would be like Sunday school in school. So you can't do that. And as a result, one of the arguments was made by a journalist in a newspaper where he wrote about how he thought that they should add another, if they were going to do the creationism thing, they should add another version of the topic and teach that there was like evolutionary biology, creationism, and then, or they called it intelligent design. They rebranded it, but intelligent design. And then he said you should also teach intelligent design by way of the flying spaghetti monster. He is made of sauce and his noodles protect us. And he wrote this article, obviously in jest, but the idea was effectively that anybody can make up any sort of series of assertions to justify their belief in whatever way. And so they shouldn't, you shouldn't be allowed to teach your theory of the flying spaghetti monster when there's no evidence for it. It's just something you're asserting, basically. He is made of sauce and his noodles protect us. Yeah, exactly. He is there when we need him most. Anyway, but yeah, that whole thing, it gets people in a tizzy because people see it and they assume that it's just some sort of ramen. I love that. People assume that it's just more of the same thing. You know, it's just kind of another cringe talking point, but you know, it's funny. And I like him. Maybe now with the wide camera angle, he'll appear in more videos. I could change this camera angle a little bit if we're going to do the wide angle thing. Yeah, maybe I'll move it around. Same question, but have you heard anything about the Avatar Quest of Balance yet? It's supposed to be like Breath of the Wild type game, but in the Avatar The Last Airbender universe. I have not heard anything about that, Max. I have not. If I did, I would let you know, but I have not actually heard anything about that. Interesting, though. That could be, I mean, any game kind of in that same family. I'm down for that type of game. Flying Spaghetti Monster is like the actual devil for gluten intolerant folks. Oh, for real. Wide is better. My fear with the wide thing is just always that I don't know. Like this angle is very precise. The soft depth of field makes it look nice and bokeh-y and cinematic and stuff. Same kind of thing with this camera angle. Gives you a nicer view of the PC and everything. But this camera angle is so wide. Like, I guess this is the candid one. Maybe that's what we do, is this is the live stream angle. I don't know. Speaking of avatars, wasn't there an Avatar Blue People game coming? Yes, it's apparent. I think it's February they pushed it back to. I think it's February. I believe it's February. But yeah. I don't love the profile one. The profile one, the reason it's set up like this, I don't love it either. Because I always have to turn really uncomfortably to talk to the camera. But the reason it's there is because I have certain contractual obligations with this new sponsor where I have to have the gaming PC that they will be providing in the frame regularly. And this camera angle, you don't really see it. Just with the focal length we have. I could swap it out. This is a 35 millimeter lens, so I could try to find like a 24 millimeter for that angle, and it'll be wider and you'll be able to see the PC then. Or maybe I can try to get a docking station and like put it in the background like some streamers do, where they have the gaming PC like back there, but then the cables route all the way up here. Maybe we'll do something like that. Wall mount it, we could try doing that. I don't know if this, I don't think this wall, these walls have a special whatever soundproofing drywall So there's like limitations for what you can drill into it without compromising it. It's not regular, so like it's much more brittle, but we might be able to do something like that. Why don't you do 4K videos? It's funny thing you asked that, Samuel. We actually are just now looking into basically shifting our production process over to 4K. The issue is I have 3 cameras. All 3 of these cameras, this one, and this one, all 3 are limited to 4K at 30. So the balance has been 4K 30 or 1080 60. I personally like the look of the 4K stuff more, and I think I might just make an executive decision and go with the 4K. We'll start recording all of the gameplay in 4K. We'll stick to that. And in time, as we upgrade cameras, we'll upgrade to cameras that can do 4K 60. But as of right now, that's where we're limited. So I might eventually just make that move. I like 4K a lot more, but it's a little tricky. 4K 30 upscaled to 60 isn't that bad. I've tried it. Yeah, I've looked at some filters where they can do frame insertions, where they can do optical flow smoothing, things like that. It's not bad. There is some artifacting, but for like a face cam, it's not that big of a deal. For gameplay, it would be pretty terrible, but it's not the worst thing ever. But I don't think 4K 30 is that bad. Ben, there were rumors of that. I don't know if they're going through with it, but even if they did that, you still would be able to watch it in 1440p or 1080p without it. But I don't think that they're going to be doing that. 4K, as is the future, but we still got a few years to match it perfect. Yeah. 4K on YouTube doesn't really make that much of a difference. The thing is, it's much better with, like, it's a much higher bit rate. So if we can upload in 4K, everything will look better, even if you're not watching in 4K. DLSS 3.0 temporal upscaling. Dude, if they could implement DLSS upscale, wait, is this a thing that I just am realizing? Is DLSS upscaling a thing within like OBS where you could record your camera at 1080p and upscale it to 4K? I doubt that's a thing. No, it's not a thing. I wonder, well, I guess it's tricky because it's like, it's part of the rendering process in the game. But surely there's a way to do that, right? That would be badass. I'm at 1440 or 144p, still lagging. Lol. Sucks to suck. Sorry, Geralt. That's like, at least there is scaling. Because when we were on Twitch, we weren't even guaranteed that. And if there was no, if there were too many people streaming at that time of day, we wouldn't get transcoding. So if I was uploading at 1080p at 6 megabits a second, for example, like you were basically just screwed because you would have to stream it in that same bit rate. Otherwise it would like lag and load and buffer, which is so stupid. Yeah, it's just dumb. But there is upscaling, but it's not as great as in game. Yeah. If we were rendered in UE5, oh, we could do that. Nikki said she was feeling sick, and I'm worried she's getting me sick. It's right in time for the weekend, though, so we'll give it that. Do I watch anime? Not really. Edge Runners was the last thing I saw, but that was pretty fire. But anyway, guys, we've been going about 3 hours. I've got to go get lunch with Mr. Jacob, who edits all of these clips on the clip channel. So I'm going to go get lunch with him, rock and roll. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me, for chilling. This was a good time. Really impressed by Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm excited to see more. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for all the new subs, all of the memberships, all of the donations. All of you guys are great. Thanks for chilling. Much love. I want to play some games. Oh, we'll do it, Rocky. We'll figure it out. Hope Nikki gets better. I'll let her know you said that, Crothy. Thanks for chilling, everybody. Much love. Stay safe out there. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday, and also go watch the latest video. It's up on the main channel now. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye. See you in the next one. Bye. Blah, 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 blah.